Hey guys, here we go for the shave for today. The room may be a little dark. I've tried to show you the brush. There's the horse brush, maybe with the contrasting wall color back there you can kind of see. It's a Zenith. It's extra soft, and if you need the actual designation, it's in the description of the video. The Wolfman WR2 right here, it's a brushed metal finish, and this is the H3 handle. It is a 95 gap, I think. Maybe an 85, but again, the description is going to tell you exactly what, because I can't remember right now. This is one of the ones that I ordered. This is one of the few, I think the only one that I ordered and got right from the website. The rest of them were bought secondhand. Had that horse brush soaking for about 10 minutes. Gillette Platinum blade, 9 uses, that's a guess. Again, check the video description if you're curious. Oudyood, this is maybe third time trying this one in recent days, and I'm repeating the brush and the soap because we've had kind of 2 strikeouts, not really strikeouts, because I was able to come back to it, go and get more water, more soap, and the lather ended up great. So today we're trying to hit it right the first time, right? Instead of having to go back again. And we probably got a little bit of moisture here in the soap left over from the past. Oudyood, oud type scent. I love it. Very good, very good. I'm glad I got a hold of this soap. Let's load up the blade. And it's one of those newer model Platinums. No, maybe not. It's still kind of inked. I think the newer Platinums have laser etching. I know the Astras, I think, are that way. They're starting to do that with some of the newer blades. I'm guessing that it's a cheaper manufacturing operation to etch it instead of ink. There we go. I got a couple of days growth on, so that's why I didn't pick something super smooth. I think I might jump online and see if I can find a smaller gap base plate and do a trade with, they can have this 95 and I'll take the smaller one. I tried a 75 WR2 base plate and it was really nice. But I still had a little bit of blade feel. I might not mind something a little smaller than that. All right. I think post-shave today is going to be Old Spice, the original, and I'm going to enjoy that. Get my face wet. I went ahead and did a face wash because I noticed when I rinsed that when I, splashed a little bit of water on my face, it was just kind of extra oily today, and I didn't want that to get in the way of my lather, so I did a face wash with some Sterling bath soap that I have on hand. I got this little made in Germany brush in a purchase lot last year sometime, and it's not a great premium brush. You can tell by the tips. They're not nearly as fine as something like my my Zenith brush here, and however they are splitting, and so I think it could actually be a pretty nice brush. I might do the slurry lather with it, and it would represent some more kind of small bore brushes. You can squeeze the bristles down to something the size of maybe a dime, a centimeter in diameter roughly. And so it could be a representation of, will the slurry lather method work with a small bore brush? But I think it's neat. It's got a neat, of course, the ergonomic handle. And my guess is, and it's very heavily lacquered. Years ago, this might have just been a basic standard bore brush that you could get in the store, and I think it'd be really pretty reasonable. I did lather up with it as a test lather, and sure, because the tips aren't quite as nice as like that Zenith, for instance, you don't get as cushy of a feel, but it was really pretty nice. So even the non-great bore brushes back then were not bad, right? Okay, so that blade is loaded up. The slurry lather method means that we're going to take the brush as in a pretty wet state and load. The first time I tried the horse brush with this soap, I did not load enough soap, and I did not also have enough water in the brush at the time. So I tried to correct that with the second time, and I believe I had enough water in the brush, but I did not load for long enough. So let's see if we can address both things finally. Keep enough water in the brush, hold about 45-degree angle, and that kind of lets the gravity take away some water. And let's just let that be it, right? And then I loaded for 120 swirls last time. Let's just do that again. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look at all that overflow. I mean, I never load in the slurry lather method and have that much overflow and not have enough lather. So I'm not going to do the full 120 swirls. I'm going to take this stuff and kind of put it on my face, not to waste it. It does not represent a lot of soap, but it does represent a thin, slick layer. Kind of the thing that gave birth to the slurry lather in the first place. That principle of, will that foam work as a shave? Oh man, the smell. The oud is just, it's rich. Oh, I love it. I'm also going to use my kind of Captain's Choice style lather bowl here, not to build the lather, but just to hold the brush. And right off the bat, I'm noticing that, my hands are slippery. It's dangerous to try to hold the bowl. I have to be very conscious about it. This is the Yaki version of the Captain's Choice bowl. I'm sure they saw the Captain's Choice bowl and did their own kind of intellectual property stealing of it. They didn't put quite the same stuff on the little thumb guard there. I don't know what the purpose of that is anyway. I think it's just so Captain's Choice can put their logo on it. But for me, this is much too small to actually use to build a lather in. However, it's just the right size to hold a brush. And if there's some extra water that leaks out, then I can hold that too. And so I figured I'd see if it would be good for this purpose, because I haven't really used it. And this is exactly the same dimensions as the standard Captain's Choice bowl. And I'm not really robbing from Captain's Choice by purchasing this bowl, because this one was on sale and it was way cheaper than Captain's Choice. And I definitely just would never have purchased, I wouldn't have purchased the one from Captain's Choice at that price, because I saw what size it was and I just knew it was too small for me. And so there's no money lost from them, by buying this version, at least in my case. All right, so we're going to start here. The brush doesn't have too much water in it. I wonder if some kind of leaked out or what. So what do? You can just kind of dip back in the water if you want. I think maybe me just kind of, maybe this one just didn't sit in the water for very long. I don't know exactly what. But I don't really consider dipping the tips back in the water a really big deal. And as you can see, we've got a nice little lather. It's very slick. Platinum is sometimes a fussy blade, but it looks like it is working very well in this razor. Now, right now, it's not cutting through, just with the greatest of ease. There are definitely other razor and blade combinations that would mow down this. Oh, the smell just hit me again. That oud is just nice. Other combinations that would take down this amount of growth in a more comfortable way, but I'm just feeling the edge. It's not irritating or anything like that. And I did work and repeat in certain areas, so took off quite a bit of the stubble. And so then horse is feeling very comfy here. Don't need to work up the ladder too much. I think it's good to go. Finally loaded enough soap from the start, and it did take an alteration to get enough water, but a little quick dip is just not a big deal. And the amount of the number of shavers using horse brushes is quite minimal. So I don't really feel like I need to keep testing the horse brushes for the sake of the shaving public. I think the good shaves I've already gotten prior to this one only had a small adjustment to make the slurry lather work, and then this one, very small adjustment of just dipping a little bit of water, and I'm good to go. And we are also proving and confirming, just like I thought, that Noble Otter's base is great with the slurry lather. A little quick splash. Oh man, yeah, you can feel as the water kind of reinvigorates what's on your face, you can feel that slickness. Still got to be really careful. This is just slipping around in my hands. I may like the sound of a ceramic lather bowl when I'm mixing, as opposed to a 3D printed lather bowl that I so often use. I like that sound. That hollow sound is not present with the ceramic. The 3D printed has a hollow nature to it because it's got an interior honeycomb pattern for structure. That it's a kind of a high sound that I wish wasn't there, but it's the only negative part about that 3D printed bowl. It's just so wonderful. All right, so this is the third pass of lather, and as you can see, it's minimal. However, we do not need a thick layer here. So I could have loaded for a little bit longer, but I bet I could even get one more pass out of what's in the brush. So the 100 swirls, you know, that's still less than the 120 that I had to do at a previous shave. And everything's working great. Cross grain again, and the first two passes were so nice that this one really is not going to be picking up too much stubble, just cleaning up a few of the missing guys. This WR2 is known for having like the carve and so many of my favorite razors. They're timeless as well. It has such a good grip on the blade, right up to the edge. And so if you don't like a lot of audio, you know, if you don't like that kind of scrapey feel that sometimes comes with the then this kind of razor and the ones I've mentioned, and indeed my favorite ones that you see me use the most often, those are going to be the ones you'll like as well. So again, this definitely confirms the Oudyood, and specifically the Noble Otter soap base. I believe this is their current version, is highly compatible with the slurry lather method. In fact, I don't really think I've come across a soap yet that doesn't work well with it. And for the splash, let's try Old Spice. They call, this says original. It's a fellow shaver sent this to me. I kind of purchased it secondhand, and he said that we don't really have the original here in America, but over across in India and that kind of area, they have the original. Now, it may not be exactly the same formulation, you know, as what Schulten had so many years ago, but it's really nice. Close enough for me to enjoy it. Not really any stinging. Face smooth as butter. Terrific shave today. Great result. The platinum blade did have a little bit more feel and kind of slight tugginess to it, but it was shaving off maybe 2 days of growth. And I'll bet it'd be a nice option and a better combination if it was a standard 1-day growth. So I'm not going to hold that against it, but there are other ones that are more amazing in their nature to where they handle such growth with an easier, comfortable experience. So there are better combos out there, but this is really a pretty nice combo. Well, that's pretty much it. Let me clean up. I'm going to go out for a pipe a little bit later, and we'll see how, and I expect it'll be great, how the Old Spice kind of works with the tobacco. I think it'll be just wonderful. I think it'll be a good match. So the horse, this is the extra soft, and so it's got a lot of flex to it. Let's drop it on the towel a little bit. And here it is after a little bit of towel stropping, not too different. I don't know if the hair drying method might be worth it with the horse as well. It really might to accelerate things, encouraging the split. But today's use was not as prickly as the other day. I think I told you guys during the shave that with the Slurry Lather, I could feel the tips a little bit more prickly. But today wasn't like that. That's interesting. I wonder why. Anyway. Terrific shave. All done. Thank you for watching so much. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Good night.